glimpse at why the simplicity of living life fully and honestly, finding joy, and approaching each new day with innocence and enthusiasm, while placing value on time and life gained and not lost, is a blessing that is renewed every day with every breath we take. Going back, I discovered it really wasn't lost at all. I've just misplaced it. Oh, I get trouble now and again. But life is pretty amazing when you realize that each day's a new day. At any rate, these are the stories here that I was telling you about. I hope you like them. Thank you. David C. Lang. That's what the book's about. David goes back to Thurman's Corners. He travels on and goes and he does all those things he's talking about, and he goes back. And he starts discovering all these things and remembering all these things from when he was a boy, when life was different. What happens in this book is there are a lot of characters. There's no through line like a normal book. It's a whole series of little tales. All these characters from this little farm town in Illinois. And some of them are kind of fun characters, and I want to read you one more. It's chapter 9. This is called Mendacity. It always kept me from doing or having what I really wanted. Errol Leroy Carnes took a drag off a cigarette. He glanced at the woman seated next to him. Late July 1963 was hot in Thurman's Corners, Illinois. The tall, green 1,000 acres planted in corn that surrounded the small town soaked in the day's sun. The 95-degree heat and the humidity, and then sucked up the moisture driven by the fast-moving late-day thunderstorm through each emerald stalk. Night brought release, but little relief. Millie Faith had taken a cool shower after work. Her son Cal had gone with his buddy Dave Lang, packed up sleeping bags and food, and gone off down to Grizzle Springs to camp out for the night. She made herself an egg salad sandwich and sat eating it in front of the oscillating fan. She powdered and put on only her lightest cotton underthings after her shower, and still she could feel the beads of sweat trickling down the center of her chest and along the small of her back. She turned off the fan's oscillating feature, but it didn't make much difference. She gathered her long blonde curls in her fingers and raised her arms and turned, allowing the fan to dry her neck. Around 9 o'clock, she had enough. She slipped into a yellow and red sundress and headed off to the Blue Light Lounge, the cocktail bar down at the bowling alley. They had air conditioning. She angled in the 55 Dodge vent window, the breeze cooling her chest and neck. Strange night, she muttered to herself. The temperature was still well into the 80s and the humidity was off the scale. A haze hung in the air, not a real fog, but a thin, dewy vapor of saturated air rising from the lawns and the street with pockets clinging closely among clustered trees. She pushed on the tufted dark green leather swinging lounge door, pausing briefly to peer through the round, eye-level porthole window. Everett Stack was holding court in the dimly lit room with Willie Bowen, Charlie Doyle, and bartender Artie Laughlin on the near side of the horseshoe-shaped bar. Errol Leroy Carnes was hunched over the bar on the opposite side. Millie chose a stool next to Errol. "You mind if I join you, Errol?" Millie asked. "Well, evening, Millie. It'd be a pleasure." Errol's whiskey and cigarette-edged voice was friendly. He liked it. Millie ordered a gin and tonic. Awful hot out there. It's sticky. Whew. Errol, it sure is nice to be here. Kind of like walking into a meat locker out of Tibbetts. Tibbetts was a rendering and meatpacking house east of Somnock off the gravel road down behind the Hog House bar. Yeah, this new air conditioning system they put in here sure makes a difference. I used to work out there, you know, when I was a kid. Not to Tibbetts? Yeah. Yeah. Back between the wars. You know, before when I went over to New Idea and began building combines. I was a meat cutter out there at Tibbetts. Yeah, I never knew you were a butcher. Yep. I learned it out of necessity growing up on the farm, you know. He sipped his beer. Yeah, real nice working out to Tibbetts in the summer, but you never warmed up in the winter. That's why I left. Bothered with joints, hands, knees, they ached all the time. Artie Laughlin was mixing Billy's second drink when a stranger walked into the lounge and took a seat midway in the curve of that horseshoe bar. His hair was neat, close cropped. He wore a plain black suit with narrow lapels and a thin black tie, and a white shirt. He ordered a whiskey highball. Everyone turned to look at the stranger for a moment, and then resumed their conversations. Yeah, anyway, money's always been like a curse to my family. The lack of it, I mean. You know, we was never supposed to have any or something. I mean, no matter how hard we worked. I don't know, saying it sounds kind of silly, I know, but there's times that I really believe that, Billy. It seems every time that there was something that I really wanted, there just wasn't enough money for it. No money at all for it. That's why I stayed on at New Idea all them years. Regular work, regular money. Harold took a drag off his Camel straight and exhaled. I don't know, Millie, after I lost Maxine and the boy, money just didn't mean much to me anymore. So I retired. Harold sipped his beer and took the last drag off of the cigarette and snuffed it out. I wish I had a nickel for every time I said, nope, I ain't got money for that. A lot of lost opportunities and wasted chances in this old boy's life, I'll tell you. Not having money always seemed to keep me from doing the things that I really wanted to do. Like what? The voice startled Billy, Harold too. They turned their glance toward the man in the suit and the tie. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't mean to be impolite or eavesdrop either. I just couldn't help hearing. The man got off his stool and he walked over to where Millie and Errol sat. He held out his hand. Name's Smith, Geordie Smith. Errol raised his eyes and took the man's hand. Carnes, Errol Carnes. This here's Millie Faith. Pleased to meet you, Miss Faith. He nodded. His face was kind. It is, Miss, is it not? Yes, it is, actually. Yes, that's what I thought. It's always a pleasure to meet a woman of your striking beauty, Miss Faith. He turned back to Errol. Now, Mr. Carnes, just what was it that you couldn't do because you didn't have money enough? Well, just about everything. Errol snorted. Well, perhaps, but the way you said it, it sounded as though there was something in particular that you were referring to. Errol eyed the man and ran his tongue over his teeth and lit another cigarette. Yeah, there was some. Long time ago. And if I may inquire, what was that exactly? Errol snorted again. Well, it was a long time ago exactly. It don't matter now. Maybe, maybe not. The stranger looked at Errol. The smile left his face, but not his friendly demeanor. It's the music, isn't it? Errol's eyes shot back to the stranger. How the hell do you know that? Geordie Smith did not flinch. Tell me about it, please. Well, now, Mr. Smith, I don't know you from Adam, and I got no idea why you're asking me. But your politeness, there's a politeness in the way you ask, so I'll tell you. When I was a kid, I wanted to play the violin. Geordie Smith did not flinch. Well, tell me about that, please. Errol? Millie giggled. I didn't know that. You wanted to play the violin? Yeah, pretty funny picture, ain't it? Me playing the violin. I don't know, but it's true. See, growing up on a farm, there wasn't any money for that sort of thing. Every penny had to go back into seed or feed or machinery. I wanted to be in an orchestra. I listened to music all the time on the radio, but you couldn't make a living playing the violin, not on these parts. So why waste your time? Leastways, that's what the old man always said. It's a tough life, farming. No time for daydreaming. But I don't regret it none. It was a good life, and if them damn depression bankers hadn't stolen my folks' place out from under him, I probably wouldn't have left it. But you wanted to play the violin, right? Gertie Smith never took his eyes off Errol Carnes. Well, it would have been nice if I had the money for that kind of luxury. The stranger reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, round, silver object and placed it on the bar. Millie thought it was a small compass, like the one she bought her son Cal recently, but it wasn't. It was hinged on one side, like a compass. But when the stranger opened it, all that could be seen emanating from inside was a pale silver blue light. The stranger looked at Errol. Go ahead, Mr. Carnes. Just touch it. Just touch the light with the tip of your finger. What the hell kind of trick is this? Huh? I look like some kind of guinea pig or something? I'm not stupid, you know. The stranger shook his head. No, nothing of that sort. And I know you're not stupid. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Well, then what is it? Is it one of them hand buzzer kind of practical joke kind of things that gives you a shock when you touch it? Errol chuckled, eyeing the stranger. No. No trick, Mr. Carnes. And I promise it won't hurt you. Please, go ahead. Well, all right, here goes nothing. Errol mumbled with his index finger. He touched the blue light the way a two-fingered typist taps on a typewriter key. The stranger was right. It did not hurt. But the instantaneous flash of white light was quite a shocker. The sound was even more staggering. The sound of an electrical circuit arcing, of a neon light tube buzzing and crackling and shorting out. The pulsating, luminous display caught the attention of everyone in the bar room and brought about a fear-induced hush. Now, what the hell was that all about? Errol said, his fingers rubbing his eyes and blinking. The stranger said nothing. He just nodded toward the bar. Errol turned. On the bar, next to his beer, an overflowing ashtray, was a violin case. The stranger said nothing, just nodded toward the bar. Errol turned. What the hell is that? Go ahead. Open it, the stranger said. Errol opened the case. Inside, an exquisitely crafted violin glistened. I'll be goddamn. Yes, the stranger nodded. Go ahead, try it. I don't know how to play it. The stranger interrupted. Mr. Carnes, please. Errol stared at Jody Smith for nearly a minute. There was something in the stranger's eyes he trusted. Wasn't quite sure why or what it was, but he did. So he ran his tongue over his teeth and lifted the violin from his case. It was delicate as a new baby in his worn hands. A perfect fit. The instrument tucked beneath his chin, calloused fingers wrapped around its sleek neck. Errol took a deep breath and touched the bow to the strings. First one string, then another. First flat, then sharp. He paused, took another breath, adjusted his fingers, relaxed his grip on the bow, and tried again. Notes rewarded his cautious exploration as Errol closed his eyes and played. Vivaldi's Violin Concerto in D minor, Opus 8, number 7, filled the room, piercing with wonder the hearts of those present. When Errol Leroy Carnes finished, he lowered the instrument, cradling it in his large hands. He raised his eyes and was greeted with tear-filled stares and applause. Errol looked at the stranger. But how? How could I play this? I don't know how. You understand. You believed in the lie, Mr. Carnes.
What lie?
The lie that without money you cannot live the dream that breathes within your heart. It is a great lie that money will buy or fix or give us everything we need, including happiness. Money is the least of all things important to the living of life, Mr. Carnes. The stranger closed the silver box and returned it to his pocket. I must go now. Hey, here, wait, here, don't forget this. Errol returned the violin to its case, closed it. No. No. It's yours. But, please, a gift. The stranger leaned close to Errol, took his hand and whispered, "Play it when you find the world's mendacities eating away at your heart. Let it soothe you." And then he turned and was gone. Errol Leroy Carnes never again played the violin in public. Neighbors in the trailer court where Errol's small sloped-back trailer was parked often recalled hearing the most beautiful late-night strains of a violin weeping. But no one was ever able to decipher its point